Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how to stop being bullied at school. And some of what we're going to talk about today I think will really help you if you or someone you care about is experiencing bullying. Bullying has always been an issue in our society. We can go back as far as we can remember and know of situations or circumstances where individuals have bullied other people. It seems like, however, that bullying is becoming more prevalent in our society today. And maybe it's not more prevalent, maybe it's just more noticeable and it's taken on a different form due to social media. Today, though, we're going to talk about bullying in general and bullying that takes place in the school setting, because oftentimes that's where a lot of the bullying does occur. So typically when someone is experiencing being bullied, we tend to focus on the person that's doing the bullying and we try to change their behavior. So some of the typical ways that we talk about dealing with bullying is sometimes if it's a child that's being bullied, we may teach them to fight back, to stand up for themselves. Or we may tell them to ignore it, or we may tell them to seek help. So go to a teacher, go to an administrator, or go to a parent. All of those things can be effective and can be helpful, but the truth is that's not really getting at the root of the problem, and it doesn't have the power to change the problem. And here's the reason why. If you've watched some of our other videos, you know this channel is about principle-based living, and principles are truths or laws that exist and operate whether we know about them or not. One of the principles that we talk about is the principle of control. And that principle says that there are only three things that we can control: our conscious thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. So if somebody else or someone is doing something that I don't like or that I don't want them to do, how much control do I have over that other person? The truth is, I have no control over that other person. I only have influence. The other thing that we know is that everything we do or don't do, we do for a reason, which means if we look at the person that's doing the bullying, there's a reason that they are doing whatever it is that they're doing. There's a reason that they are choosing to bully. And so their belief is driving their behavior. If we want to change their behavior, then we need to either change their belief, which again, we don't have any control over. We may have some influence over that. Or we need to look at what is the outcome that they're getting from their behavior. So a person that bullies, they're doing it for a reason. And the reason is the outcome or the result that they get from that behavior. So the most impact that we can have if we're in a situation where we are being bullied is we can look at, well, how do we respond to the bullying? So what is it that we do or don't do when another person is bullying us? If that bullying continues, it's because there is something that we're doing or not doing that is rewarding or reinforcing the person that's doing the bullying. We're rewarding their behavior. If we want their behavior to stop, well, one thing that we have complete control over is our own behavior. So if we change our response and we no longer give the bully whatever it is that they're seeking, that behavior will stop. Or they'll stop that behavior with us. They may continue to hang on to that belief that the bully has, and so they may find somebody else to bully, but they won't continue to bully you. So my suggestion, my recommendation is that if you're in a situation where you are being bullied or you have a child that is being bullied, first let's look at, well, how am I responding to that behavior? And try changing up my response and see what happens with the bully's behavior. The second thing that we can do is we can look at, and this may come across initially as kind of blaming the victim. So if I'm being bullied, is it my fault? Well, what if we move away from blame and from fault and we just look at what is? We know this too, that everything is energy. And there's another principle or law, which is the law of attraction. Dr. Phil talks about it in his book, Life Strategies, where he says one of our life strategies is that we teach other people how to treat us. Now, does that mean that I am responsible or it's my fault if somebody is bullying me? No, the person that's doing the bullying, they're responsible and accountable for their behavior. I'm responsible for my behavior. But if I'm looking for a solution to the bullying, I want to try to figure out, well, what is it that I have control over? And again, I have control over myself. If I look at this from a principle-based perspective, there's a reason that this bullying is happening. And so now I can look at myself and say, well, what is it that I'm doing or not doing that is attracting this behavior to myself? What's attracting this person to come into my life and to choose to treat me the way that they're treating me? Why are they choosing me and not somebody else? So there must be something about me and who I am as a person, which means my energy level and what signals that I'm sending out into the universe that's attracting these individuals into my life. So everything that happens in our life is just information. It's there to help us learn, grow, and become all that we can become. So if I am experiencing bullying in my life, I can look at this not in a blaming way, but in an empowering way and say, okay, well, what is it about me that is creating this in my life? Do I bully myself? Maybe I need to become more aware of my own self-talk and look at how do I talk to myself. Maybe many of the things that I say to myself are similar to what this person is saying to me that is bullying me. Maybe I'm lacking self-confidence and I give out this impression that I'm an easy target, that I won't stand up for myself. And so if I am being bullied, it can be a cue or information to me to just look at myself and say, okay, what is this about me that's attracting this? It gives me information to look at what are some areas in my life that I could change or improve upon to where I can begin to attract more positive things into my life and people to come into my life that are going to see the positives in me and help me become all that I can be. So again, if you are experiencing bullying, the two things that I would recommend are, first, look at what is my response and how might I be rewarding that behavior. And secondly, what is it about me that is attracting that into my life, and what can I change about myself that will begin to attract more positive things into my life and the things that I want instead of the things that I don't want. Thanks for joining us today. Hopefully this discussion on bullying will be helpful to you or to somebody important to you in your life, and that you can create more of the life that you want. Create a life that you really love. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you again tomorrow.